Merry Christmas, everybody. This is my time of year. I love the holidays. And I really love the holidays this year, and I really love the holidays last year because I was because I am and was in shape in a way that I hadn't been for years. So getting out and walking around, remember I couldn't walk because my back was so bad, or I'm on opioids and my heart's no good, and all those other issues that we all know about always drove me crazy, so I couldn't go. In fact, many of the reasons why I took the drugs, why I was addicted to the opioids, was to help me deal with the pain so I could go shop at Christmas. So I could go to the mall and walk around at Christmas and be able to at least get through some of it without keeling over and dying from the pain. So these last two Christmases, that's how much I love Christmas. It's just fantastic for me, and I'll do whatever it takes to get out there and Christmas shop and enjoy the crowds and all that. I just embrace every part of it. The busier, the better. The more I have to wait, the more patient I'll be. I love the Christmas spirit. I was a poor kid who didn't have a lot in the 70s growing up, and so the promise of Christmas and what could be for me always stood out. And it didn't matter that I never got those things that I wanted, that I would circle in the circular that my little brother and I would get out of the newspaper, and that would come from Toys R Us, a circular. To you guys that don't know, that don't remember newspapers, the Sunday newspaper would come about that thick, and a circular was an insert, kind of a magazine insert, and it'd be 15 pages of toys, letting everybody know what toys were available at Toys R Us, and my brother and I would go circle them. Of course, we'd get none of it. That's okay. It didn't matter. It was the promise of what could be. The cookies and the cake and Santa Claus and downtown at the Macy's store. All of those things that as a kid, you just look up with wonderment because with your eyes wide open, and the lights and the pomp and the circumstance. For me, it was fantastic. As a poor kid, there was nothing better. But there's one story that stands out that I want y'all to hear. I've told this story before. Y'all met my mother the other day in a video we did where we went and got C's Candy at the place that we've gone since I was a little kid. And we grew up tough. I have 8 brothers and sisters, 9 of us all together. And we found ourselves in Montana. My little brother, I have 8 brothers and sisters, there's 9 of us. My mother had 6 kids when she was 22 years old. 7 years later, she had me. I have a little brother and a little sister. And so the older kids had moved on. And at 14 years old, my older sister, my next oldest sister, was 7 years older than me, died on her 21st birthday, December 12th. Yeah, terrible. And so in reaction to that, my parents picked up and moved us to Montana, my little brother, my little sister, and me. So we find ourselves in Montana. We had a restaurant that had failed. We couldn't get back to Portland. We're living in this little tiny house. There's, 6 or 7 of us. And it's the Christmas season. So I immediately thought, nothing's ever going to happen. I'm hosed. I'm not getting anything. That's okay. It is what it is. We're fighting to stay alive, fighting, try to get home. It's minus 20 degrees outside in Gardner, Montana, a little tiny place. This is prior to any kind of cable television or all of those things. So just a nightmare. But we made it happen. And I'll never forget this. In that situation, my mother, who had been juggling finances and dealing with a billion kids and hungry mouths and cloth diapers and all of the things that come with raising children in the 60s and the 70s, she worked her magic. So I get asked the question all of the time about this behind me, this pool cue that y'all see right there. Why do I have it right there? And I can tell you, as a pool player now, there is nothing special about that pool cue. In fact, you would be hard-pressed to find a cheaper, more worthless pool cue in your life. I'll tell you the story why. My mother, on Christmas morning, we get up, and there's gifts out. I remember I got a tin of candy bars, Snickers, Milky Way, and 3 Musketeers. It was, like a popcorn tin. And me and my little brother and my little sister each got one. Where in the world does this come from? How's this even possible? We barely have enough food to eat. But my mother knew what she was doing. And wrapped up, because I had just started playing pool in the local taverns, which is where you have to play when you're 14 years old in the middle of nowhere, small town, Gardner, Montana, which is a town that is 1 block long, out in the middle of nowhere. And my mother knew that I was playing pool, and so she went to Kmart For you guys, again, you younger guys may not know what Kmart is, but Kmart is like Sears. Back in the day, they were huge, and she had to go into the next town 66 miles away to get it, but she had gone into town, and she had bought me that pool cue that you see right there. The pool cue comes apart into 3 pieces. It's got weights in it. It's hanging on the shelf at a Walmart or at a Kmart. Now, trust me, pool cues, you don't want to buy your pool cue from Kmart. It's not going to be straight. It's going to have all kind of issues. It's just not what you would play with if you knew what you were doing. But that didn't matter to me because I didn't know what I was doing anyway. And I had my own cue. Came in a bag, whole 9 yards. And I couldn't believe when I opened that up, how in the world did she save up the money to buy me a pool cue? My little brother got a gift, my little sister got a gift, and of course Santa left the candy out for us. So in that vein, I love Christmas. And I have that appreciation for Christmas in a way that I think you almost have to go through situations like that to fully appreciate it. I chafe these days when I hear people talk about what Christmas doesn't mean to them and all the trouble and the family and the hullabaloo and the crowds and the traffic and all that, all those complaints. And I just think to myself, those are people with more things than they know what to do with. Those are people with not enough problems creating problems. Because at the end of it, as somebody who comes from where I do, those were opportunities for food I would never get to eat, to see people I would never get to see, for excitement that just simply never happened, and for opportunities as a 14-year-old to get a gift that I keep right behind me through thick and thin, through all of these years as I'm coming up on my 55th birthday, of a worthless, market-wise pool cue that to me is one of the most valuable things that I have. That's Christmas. My mother was an amazing woman. As you can see, y'all met her. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope you and your family have a fantastic day, and I appreciate so much everybody watching. Opportunities are everywhere. You got to go get them. Go for a walk.